Hey guys, just a quick DeBordieu fishing report update for the week of July 20th, 2021. This is one of those weeks where you kind of got to work for the fish. We've gotten a ton of rain. The tides are coming in really high. So if you're out in the marsh fishing, any of these creeks, especially at high tide, you're really going to have to work it and get out those weedless jigs and stuff and try to like get up into the grass. Lower tide is going to be a little bit easier, but the bite is kind of slow right now. So as far as drum, they're out there. Got to get them, from my experience right now, really early in the morning, so like sunrise. If you can get out there either right before sunrise or right at sunrise, it's really going to help you increase your chances there with red drum. Black drum are still biting. I got a few of those not long ago. Um, and actually right over here where my cursor is on the screen right there, that's about where I got those. Um, and as far as specs, they're really like, I mean, I have not caught any lately. Flounder bites pretty slow, but you know, if you work some of those banks, the deeper part of the banks, as you're drifting, or get up under some of these docks, you probably have a good chance for a flounder bite early in the morning again. Um, Something that is really, let me drag this over here. Um, if you're surf fishing, lots of whiting, croaker, all that stuff is biting. You're always going to have a hard time getting anything more than sharks and whiting and croaker and the DeBordieu surf. It's just how it is because they renourish the beach so much. Every decade or so, they pump all the sand in, and I don't know, just something about it. It's really hard to get drum in the surf here. They're there. I've actually caught a black drum in my cast net in the surf here before. So certain times of year, there's a really good dip right off the beach, and you can cast right in there, and there's stuff running through it. There are trout in the surf as well, but right now, what I'm seeing is a ton of black tip sharks. I've caught two in the surf recently, a decent sized one, about 5 feet or so. And so they're there, and there's a couple of cuts that you can fish right now. And these, you know, change with storms and all that stuff, but usually these cuts are kind of right there around this area. So right in front of the beach club, it's one of the most populated parts of the beach. So if you get out there early, no one will be out there. You'll be able to fish that one or stay late at night, preferably early in the morning. And then another one's kind of like right over here. If you go right over a sandbar that's right there, there's a deep little hole right there. But you'll see the rip tides, you'll see the current kind of like ripping out. So you want to cast into those rips, or right at the end of those rips if you can see the ends, and the surf's not too tough or too rough to see all that stuff. But if you can work your way down, you go all the way to the end of the island almost. There's a public parking spot right where my cursor is right here, and or you know, you can park your truck, you can park your car, golf cart, and then walk onto the beach right here. And if you have a cart or just, you know, just a little bit of stuff that you can carry yourself, walk down, and the DeBordieu beach ends right there. And so this is all wildlife preserve after that. It's the Hobcaw Wildlife Preserve. So all this beach has not been renourished, and there's a lot more just like natural structure and contour to the beach. There's also a pier. It used to be, I think, like a boat dock somewhere around in here. You'll see it if you walk down, with some pylons still that exist there that you can fish. It's a little bit of structure. But if you can make it way down here to the end, this is really where you can catch a ton of fish. There's going to be red drum, black drum, lots of sharks, tons of sharks right here. And there's some really good cuts through here. It rips around this point. So there's a really nice deep cut right there. There's all kinds of stuff that's always stacking up in there. And then the current coming out of this side of the inlet or the creeks rips right down this brown part, and right by here. And I caught a pretty good sized black tip right here as well, along with like a zillion really nice sized whiting, croaker, couple spot. There's all kinds of stuff right here. And then, as the season goes cooler and fall approaches, this is a great spot to go and find really big schools of red drum. So, and then if you're able to get out on a boat and work the inlet a little bit more, I've got a couple buddies who swear by this bank right here and just coming out of Jones Creek and working this side of the creek as you drift out, especially on an outgoing tide. If you work that, I've had like moderate luck there, not like huge luck, but man, I got people who are just like, dude, that's the spot. I only go fish that spot on an outgoing tide. So one to check out as well. If you're fishing from land and you want to try to fish the creeks, but you don't have a boat or a kayak, then because the drum and everything are pushing up so high into everything, because of these high tides, a lot of this brackish water will also have drum. So we call it Alligator Alley, but let me zoom in here and find it. And by the way, the largemouth bass bite is off the charts right now. We've been crushing huge bass. If the software allows, I'll put a picture of my son, my 5-year-old that just crushed a pretty big bass the other morning. Proud papa. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. It kind of looks a little different from the air here. So this right here, come on, Google Earth, catch up to me. We call it Alligator Alley, right? And so you go through here, and everybody likes to take their golf carts around this little body of water here, and there's lots of alligators in there and stuff. Right over here on the other side, there are actually pretty big bass in there as well. But if you fish right over here along this bank, try to zoom in a little bit more, there's drum running in this body of water right here. I met a guy from Shelby, North Carolina the other day, said his son caught a couple decent sized drum right there, just off the bank. So this connects back over here. If you follow it long enough, connects back to more brackish water, and all these have tubes that connect. And what happens is if you get some high tides and lots of rain, then these fish will run through. Don't zoom in that much. Hello. Oh, zoomed in. They'll run through these tubes. You see those metal little tubes right there? Boom, boom, boom. They go in there, and then they start going up, and you know the deal. So they just work their way all up in here. So that's a good little spot that, let's see, who was it? My oldest daughter caught a decent sized ladyfish right there where that guy said his son had caught a couple drum, and I've caught drum in that waterway as well. So good little spot to try if you can't get out on a boat. And of course, you can work this waterway from the street. Sometimes I'll just park my golf cart right there on the street, and I'll stand up on this little wooden fence that runs along this creek. And during like an outgoing tide, I'll just throw there, little popping cork, and make sure you just don't get it all caught in the grass and everything. Great little spot. So anyways, guys, hope this helps. And the bait that I'm using most of all right now is the normal stuff. So I use a lot of artificial stuff, but so like swim baits and all that kind of stuff, artificial shrimp under a popping cork. But the natural bait that I'm using right now that's working is the usual suspects. So it's going to be shrimp, live shrimp if you can get them. Good luck around here. Sometimes you can get them with your own net at low tide in that creek actually right there. But just get some go to like Pawleys Island Outdoors or wherever, Georgetown Ice in Georgetown, the gas station, and get a couple cups of shrimp, and just use small pieces of it and put it on like a size 1 or size 2 circle hook. And then if you can get some mullet, if you know how to use a cast net, great spots all over this place to get mullet. Right over here in this creek, you can always get mullet with your cast net, almost always, and sometimes some other bait fish. And like menhaden have been schooling up right here lately, and just chunk those guys. You can put them live under a popping cork, or put it on a Carolina rig, throw it on the bottom, and just have it swim around. That'll attract some of the bigger fish. But if you want to chunk it and just use that back 2/3 minus the tail, usually that's going to give you the best result with getting something pretty quick. So anyways, leave me a comment below, guys, if you have any questions. Make sure to subscribe for future fishing forecast for DeBordieu and Pawleys Island, Georgetown, Murrells Inlet, Litchfield. All these beaches and stuff around here is where I fish all the time, and I love talking about them. So ask questions in the comments below. Let me know some tips if you didn't hear anything in here and you caught something in here lately and want to share it. I'm always wanting to learn more stuff, and man, with fishing, you always learn. So I think it's impossible to know it all. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys.